and I'll take care of you along the way. My love, one day at a time, will leave our troubles behind. And you'll take care of me along the way. My love, one day at a time, will leave our troubles behind. Here with you in our treetop view. Well, it takes me to when I was young. I fell before, but I can't ignore that it's nothing.
As you can see behind me, we just got everything filled in with those pavers. We threw down some fresh Irish moss seeds. We also went ahead and planted some Irish moss plants that I pre-seeded in the greenhouse a couple months ago, so they were really a nice little start. So we're really just in that next phase. We still need some more pavers to finish out the fronts of the garden, and that's just gonna have to wait a little bit because we're already kind of over budget a little bit. So we'll wait on that part, but at least what we have now already done is filled in and getting a little start with already being seeded and planted, and we'll kind of see where it goes from there. We'll share it with you. In between the pavers, we actually use compost. I don't know if I'm going to regret that decision or what, I don't know. So you guys can follow along and kind of learn along with us whether that was the right decision or not, but that's why we share it. So, you know, not everything is a success and some are failures, and that's a lesson that is best learned. Right now I am watering this section about twice a day, just giving it a good soak. And we could put a sprinkler out here, but I don't want it to hit the corner gardens and get everything too soaked and then have an overwatering issue with some of our already existing plants. So we're just gonna do it by hand for now. We're home every day, so it's doable, and it's really not that much work, but you know, it is something that you have to dedicate time to, otherwise it's a loss of seeds. And I don't even know if it's gonna germinate well. We did use the same seed in the pavers that we did use for the plants that we planted. We did 100 of these little plants of them, which each one, as you can see, has multiple plants. I wish we would have seeded more plants, but I didn't really know what I was seeding them for at that time. I just knew to start seeding them for this project, not knowing how it would actually like turn out or how they'd be used. So next time, if I had to do it again, I would have done like 200 plants. But hey, at least there's 100 little mini mounds of them that we'll have a good start with, and then we'll see what the seeds do. The amount of seeds we used, we're pretty close to around 100,000 seeds. Now, I know that sounds like a lot, but really it was basically not even a full tablespoon of seeds. So they're very, very small and fine, and we know that some do not germinate well. So we'll just kind of, you know, play it day by day and just hope that we start seeing some green. But if not, we at least have some plants in here, and I can always seed start more and get them in the fall. So that way they have time to, you know, establish some root system in the fall time, and then they'll return for us after winter. So, you know, I'm expecting this to kind of fill in more so by next year. This isn't something that's going to be instant gratification or anything like that. It'll be a little bit harder to use this space this year just because, you know, there is compost in between the pavers. It's not like, you know, firmed sand setting the pavers. This is basically just filled in to be able to grow plants in between. So I don't know, we'll see. I do plan on throwing in some seeds of other random plants here and there just to have like random things growing up, even if it's just taller things. I'd like a couple areas with just some milkweed as well, and maybe even throw in a few like dill plants just for like the monarchs and the black swallowtails. We get a lot of those here, so it's always nice to kind of give them what they need in our garden. Today I'm noticing some of our pumpkin seeds are starting to pop up here. These ones are the Cronus over here. They're a nice larger pumpkin with a really thick stem. It's really beautiful. And then over here we have our jack-o'-lantern pumpkins. They are exactly what they say they are. They're the perfect shape and size for carving. I know I've told you guys this before in one of the last videos, but I had to seed start some of our fall garden in pots because last year all the seeds got eaten by ground squirrels and they just were a menace. So I figure that, you know, this way, this here, we'll be able to, you know, still have somewhat of a fall garden without worrying about them eating our seeds. And I don't know how this is gonna go. I don't see it going bad, but I do know that there is a transition from seeding it in a pot, then planting it out there. There's gonna probably be like a 1 to 2 week time where those roots really need to grow into the soil. So it almost like stunts it a week behind. So I'm just hoping that our pumpkins will be ready in time because I love decorating super early. And the most important pumpkin for us is the pie pumpkin and the mini pumpkins for decorating. They're the smallest and easiest to move around for us. But having a couple large pumpkins would be nice, but we do still have our big family pumpkin garden area too, but I wanted to grow more of my own this year again, like I have in the past, because then I'm able to kind of invite our other family over too, you know, like Grandma Karen and Grandpa Mike, and then Auntie Cammie and Uncle Sean and all those kids too. We just love our family. We like being able to provide a space for them to come and hang out, and sadly we really haven't had a lot of hangouts in the past like year or two, like maybe once a summer. I know it sounds crazy, but like it's just one of those things that you have to put on the calendar and you have to make time for, and that's what we're being more intentional with this year. And it actually has been easier to do those types of things because the kids were homeschooled, so we were able to see Grandma Karen a lot more and go to lunch and just hang out and spend some time and stuff like that. And she's really helped out a lot with the kids. And the other day we went there and planted her little raised bed she has, and we just did some like little cut flowers of just, you know, zinnias and salvias and some millet, some of our basic favorites, but it's gonna be gorgeous. Are you cleaning up, Lana? Trying. Luna, let Lana in. How are you doing today, Luna? We're putting the kids on painting duty. This storage bin is for the bunny area. So we're just gonna paint it because as soon as Jason got it, I was like, it's a nice storage bin, but I didn't want it to stand out inside of their enclosure. So we're just gonna go ahead and paint it to match everything. So that way it just kind of blends in and still serves its purpose and its functional use, but also just doesn't stick out like a sore thumb, right, Selah? Yeah. And we've been having to mow a lot with all the rain, and I actually had to mow the lawn too the other day, and I got so motion sickness spinning around those trees. Selah, I've been gone 2 minutes. You're so fast. Oh my goodness, no, I'm serious. This is crazy fast, you're good. Hang on, Luna.
Right there. Come on, Luna.
Is that a tick?
Something. Just
Yeah.
get it off of her. It's okay, Luna.
There, got it. Okay, that was a tick. There we go. I think Jason's having too much fun on that lawnmower. He must be listening to some fighting music. AC/DC. As you can see, Luna just had a tick, and we've been getting a lot of those. And what's crazy is growing up, I never saw a tick, never had a tick on me. We're in southeast Wisconsin. Every year it's just more and more, and we had more of a mild winter, even though we did have like a cold couple weeks in January, end of January. It just wasn't enough. The winter was just too mild.
All right, so what we're gonna be doing now is marking out the pasture area for the goats. So we got our big tape measure. We're gonna plant flags about every 12 feet, and then we're gonna knock these posts into the ground, get some fencing up, and get the goats out here. The other thing we're gonna be doing too is putting a little bit of a bridge over the waterway. So we're gonna have fencing on both sides of that bridge too. So kind of like a path coming from behind the goat shed out to this area. I'm standing here on the back side of the goat shed, so I've got this small door in the back that I'm gonna build, and we wanna make that one a Dutch door, so that means that the either just the bottom of the door can open, or the top of the door, or the whole door, but that way the goats can go in and out of the bottom. We keep that bottom portion open in the winter. I'll show you how I'm doing that. So here's the opening for the door. We didn't do a very wide door here because the main door in the front is normal door width. This one is only 24 inches wide. So one thing I've started to do this year, whenever I'm gonna cut something or create something, I like to draw a picture of it and then write my dimensions. Sometimes that opening there was a little bit wider on the top than it was the bottom. So I write my dimensions there, I draw a little picture of it. And what I did here is I cut everything to length. And then you can see I've got this bottom portion and then the top portion. Put two separate pieces of facing on here. So after I install the door, I'm then going to cut the bottom portion away from the top portion, but I feel like it'll be easier to install the door as one piece. The girls are working on getting the goat shed painted. Look it's not our normal black color, but we'll have some touches in there. Reason we're doing white here is because I got these windows for free. The windows were white.
And Selah also wants to paint this door like a really light pink, almost like a white pink. So with all the white, I think it'll just like look nicer and not so like, you know, crazy. But I think just tying in the dark along the way, and then that way we don't notice these bright white windows. When I saw this, I just knew right away, like I'm not a fan of really light windows in a dark house because we currently have that now. And when we built, I remember telling Jason, like, we need to go darker. And I didn't want to go black. I actually wanted to go with this bronze color, which was charcoal. I feel like that's a little bit more timeless for my liking. And when these came in white, I'm like, oh, like I always try to just reflect the overall color to really match that vinyl window right there. So I think it'll end up looking really nice. It'll brighten up the area. We can make it real cutesy, and it'll just look good.
Okay, so this is the tricky part here, hanging the door. You want to make sure it's, you know, a little loose all the way around. And obviously you want it to fit the opening, which it does here. Okay, well, it took me about an hour and a half to hang this door. I had all kinds of troubles with this one. I wanted it to swing inside. It's a 2x6 wall, 2x6 door, so the opening was too tight after I built the door, so I had to remove a stud. I was hammering it. I'm finally done, and I'm ready to cut apart the top and the bottom so we can see how the Dutch door works. So I installed it as just one door because as much of a nightmare as it was installing it as one door, if it were two separate doors, it would have been even worse. But now I'm going to take and just basically cut right there. And now my, my top portion will open, my bottom portion will open. We'll be good to go. Okay, there's one. I'll have to finish that one off with the Sawzall. Oh! Now it's still pretty ugly looking back here because it's got to get painted. I just used scrap wood that we had, but we'll obviously get that painted. But that way those little goats can peek their heads right out through here.
So I finished the painting job and I don't really like it. All white, bright white, it's not me. Like, it feels like it doesn't fit in because I like to choose colors that feel really soft on the eyes and that just blend with nature. And this just feels like, hi, I'm the goat shed. And it just like, to me, it's kind of an eyesore, but we're gonna just move forward with it anyway. We still are doing that nice little light pink door. The little black sides and the top will be black. I do also have some little containers I want to do on the front, but if we get to that this year, I don't know if we will, but we'll see. If I don't like it, what's the big deal? We got to just brush it dark and then.
So what if we made it look like a cow and we just painted big black, you know, like the, like the cow pattern? No?
So I actually really like when we do the white on the inside because these are always, like, all of these are smaller buildings, so the white kind of helps it feel like bright in there and just a little bigger than it actually is. So it always makes the inside look clean because this was just a plain piece of plywood like everything else on the inside, so real yellowy. So I just feel like it makes everything just look clean and bright, and that's perfect for the inside. But the outside, Jason looks like he got an invisibility cloak on with that white t-shirt and white building. But Jason did an amazing job on that little Dutch door on the back. That's such a cute little Dutch door. And then the bottom.